These miniatures were painted initially to be dumped out on the 4th for the whole "May the 4th be with you" thing. And while these were painted in time, work and life tends to insert itself in front of a lot of my priorities, so today we have, well, I guess it's just May the 10th. Here's some Star Wars, guys. As always, there'll be a spreadsheet excerpt provided at the end with all the products and colors that were used to paint these miniatures. To get some initial colors down, I primed them first in black, followed by an anti-zenithal spray of cerulean blue to add a bluish shadow for what will be the white armor. Then I added a zenithal spray of teal, followed by another zenithal of an off-white, but making sure not to completely obliterate the application of teal. Once inside at my desk, I applied some Army Painter Speedpaints, which I honestly could have skipped for the white armor as it didn't add much. Battleship Gray, Grim Black, and Magic Blue were the specific colors used. I then added a pen wash of black oils to help bring out some of the smaller details. I'll be coming back later with black acrylic to darken these areas further wherever needed, and this step was only to help see where those spots will actually need to occur. The airbrush work took less than 10 minutes, and the speed paints and wash were an additional hour and 15 minutes of effort. Moving on to highlighting the white armor, I thinned some off-white to a glaze and started to build up some general volumetric highlights. This was done over 2 or 3 applications and focused where my imagined light sources would be shining directly onto. As a note, the black stains, especially around the knees, were actually from the black speed paints and not from the oil wash. I then use the same off-white, though this time not thin to a glaze, and apply some brighter edge highlights. I then apply one additional lesser edge highlight of pure white. With the white paint still fresh on my palette, I next panel line all over using an opaque black acrylic paint, as well as giving all of the blue areas a defined black border. Anywhere I got a little too heavy with this lining, I could quickly fix with a wet brush or by covering it with my white tones. The white armor took me about 2.5 hours of work and amounts to the single longest step in this project. For the black areas, I then mixed a dark gray and applied a highlight to the inner rubber-like parts of the armor. This same gray tone is then applied as a wet, dry brush to the guns, and then as a hatching line highlight to the captain's skirt thing. I then mixed a second lighter gray and repeated the steps for the rubber areas and the skirt, though covering less with the second pass. But for the guns, this I do as an actual dry brush, though careful not to get it on the armor for the white hands. It took me right at 1 hour and 45 minutes to paint all of these black areas. For the blue areas, I had to apply some glazes of cerulean blue to smooth out the uneven finish from the speed paint, before cutting in a little bit of that off-white from my palette into the cerulean blue, and adding glazes to the upper 2/3 of the blue areas and adding some edge highlights. I then cut in some more white to apply a second thinner edge highlight and some circular reflections onto the shoulders, which are then glazed over with that cerulean blue to help smooth out the transitions just a little. These blue areas took right at 1 hour of effort. In a previous project, I had painted the battle droids on similar bases and wanted these to match, so I brush a ruddy brown followed by a rough dry brush of mustard yellow, and then a lighter dry brush of tan. I then bring out the details by adding a wash of that same oil product that I used on the clones' bodies. I'll be doing a little more to the earth, but first I need to finish the metal platforms. I base coat these with a dark gray, followed by a really rough highlight of a thinned lighter gray, and I mean really rough. I then reapply that highlight covering half of the area that I just did. and then a third time as a thick edge highlight. I then mix a lighter gray tone to add a thin edge highlight and some random lines, all flowing in the same direction across the panels. With the black paint, I then add some black lines in the same manner. I finish up the plating with a glaze of a dark blue over roughly half of the metal surface. I then get to black out the base and keep going. For some of the blaster laser gouge things in the metal panels, I also filled that in with black paint, though for others I filled it in with a white ink. Once fully dried, I dropped in some orange ink and let that dry. I then thinned a glaze of dark red to tone down one side of these gouges, before adding a little bit of white ink to the opposite side, making sure to leave some of the orange behind. And again, once the white ink was dried, I finished with some yellow ink over the white. The idea was for these to be freshly bored gouges that were still glowing hot. I returned to finish up the earth areas by applying a little bit of liquid pigment binder randomly around edges of the metal platforms, the earth, and the boots. I then stipple in and dab a reddish brown, then yellow, and lastly a white pigment powder to give a dirty and dusty appearance. The glossiness of the binder will fade once dry, and after cleaning excess pigments from the black base rims, and about 2 hours of work for the bases in total, I can now finally call it a night. This is where I stopped, though these miniatures only really had 3 elements, and I guess 6 if you count the bases. It still took me longer than I was expecting, at just about under 3 hours apiece, or a total of 8 hours and 45 minutes of painting. Then again, I also need to take into account that these are apparently 40mm miniatures versus the 28 and 32mm that I'm accustomed to painting, so they are a little bigger. There are some areas I could have spent more time cleaning up, especially on the helmets, as well as quite a few areas that could use more glazes to smooth transitions out better, but all in all, I'm happy with the tones and highlight placements. The white armor and earth of the bases are specifically what I like the most, with the blaster laser thing damage on the metal platforms being what I like the least. But they did come out better this go round than on the B1 battle droids I painted previously. You know, baby steps I guess. I think if I had to paint more of these, I would skip the oil steps over the white armor, and I would also replace the speed paints on the black and blue areas with standard opaque acrylics. I would have had less areas to clean up, and I wouldn't have to smooth out the blue shoulders before adding highlights, which would have ultimately helped me save some time. And that'll bring this video to its end. I hope you learned something or inspired to start or expand your own collection of cloned, highly trained soldiers that will ultimately be replaced by cheap and far less skilled human conscripts that may or may not have been missing on purpose during critical engagements. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and if you like the content of this video and would like to see more, you can easily support the channel by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. I'm Jim with Working With Miniatures. I'm truly grateful for your time, and I bid you a fond farewell. Until the next video.